So I'm at 41,000 feet, somewhere probably over the eastern seaboard. I don't think we've started our trip out over the Atlantic yet, and I'm doing some kind of inception thing with my phone here. I'm really, really glad I'm on this plane tonight. I'm gutted to be going home. I love a good holiday, as you know, but the crew on this flight have made a massive difference to how I was feeling. As you guys know, I love the brand, I love everything about Virgin, and I was genuinely, with that flight out, I was genuinely like, wow, the dream's over. Let's look for another airline. And the crew this evening, just through a little bit of interaction, of listening, of being attentive, have restored my faith in what is, and what I still think is the world's best airline. There's still the niggles, there's still things are not 100%. The service design is still different. That's because of COVID, I get that. But there is still a sparkle. There's actually been a lot of people reached out to me, both people who are fans of fans of Virgin Atlantic like myself, other members of staff from within the company, and one or two others that have now left, that have reached out to kind of ask, what my thoughts were following that flight and stuff. And I'm really glad to see that there is still a magic and there is still a sparkle, and that I think I happened upon a bad set of circumstances on the flight out. So Lee's enjoying the flight a lot more. I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more. I'm sat watching Friends at the moment. I don't sleep very well on night flights. I'm just keeping myself hydrated and refreshed. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the ground, and I'll finish this off with a little bit more of a review of how it's gone. But glad to see Virgin Atlantic's still number one. Hi guys, so I'm back in the UK now. It's Wednesday afternoon. It's been around about 28 hours since we landed in Terminal 3 yesterday, and I am still feeling a little bit jet lagged, which is as normal for me for a night flight. Normally I head straight home after I've landed. Unusually I stayed in the DoubleTree at Heathrow last night. It's not a great hotel. I used to really like it, and it used to be my go-to pre-departure hotel. It's a good 3-star, but not really anything greater than that. I've not bothered doing a review of it, but just for your benefit, it's normally quite cheap. So if you want somewhere that's cheap and convenient at Heathrow, it's a good location. It's basic, but it's probably what you're looking for, but you won't get anything nice out of it. I've now subsequently moved to the DoubleTree at Tower Bridge in central London, and my flatmate has tested positive for COVID, and I am leaving him to self-isolate so I don't get caught up in that, 'cause I've got a few work things at the end of this week that I have to physically go in for. The purpose of this vlog today really is to follow up on my mini vlog that you've probably just seen there ahead of this, and which was on the flight, and to kind of give you my thoughts on the return. So we'll start with check-in. Virgin check-in is in Terminal 3 at Las Vegas. It was pretty smooth. They scan your passenger locator form, so you need to have the QR code for that ready. They will scan that, and then you get the little sticker on the back of your passport. You then go forward and check in normally. Just a word of warning: if you are hand baggage only and you go straight through TSA and you don't go to a check-in desk, they will then call you up to the podium at the departure gate to then make sure that you've got all of your relevant forms and tests and things. There was a guy having a massive argument, and I think he was denied boarding yesterday. I didn't see him subsequently get on the plane, and I was sat right by the doors. And he had used an NHS lateral flow test and thought that was acceptable. They were arguing with him at the gate. He was being a bit of an arse to the gate agent, if I'm honest. She was really nice. She was really polite. I'd had a chat with her earlier, because he was on hand baggage only, he hadn't realised any of this. So he'd got through and you know, obviously very close to getting on the plane, and then seems to have been denied boarding. For regular visitors to Las Vegas, if you haven't been since before Christmas, Virgin have now moved to the D gate, which is the little pier on the outside. So you still go in Terminal 3, you still go in as normal, and then you take they call it a tram, it's a monorail type system, that takes you through to the D gate. They're kind of separate. They seem to be using quite statically gate D22. That's what they've used certainly all the last couple of weeks when I've been tracking the flight on Flight Radar. The lounge is much better, so it's still the club lounge, the kind of Las Vegas's airport's own offering, but Virgin have now got its own little dedicated section for in advance of the Virgin flight. It's not a great space. It's not a huge space, but it was table service. The guy would bring you anything that you wanted from the bar, so that was quite nice. It was definitely an improvement over last time I flew through Vegas when we were in the club at the E gate, which was pretty basic and very crowded. Obviously now you've got your own sort of dedicated space. That itself was busy. Bear in mind there's 33 passengers in upper class plus anybody who is travelling flying Club Gold. So potentially you've got quite a few people in there. I don't think there was even 20 seats. So it was fortunate that the cabin wasn't full. However, the cabin did subsequently fill up with people, normally sort of staff who had been upgraded into upper class on their return sectors with companion crew, etc. Boarding was relatively easy. It's a pretty quick walk from the lounge, which is by gate D33, down to gate D22, and boarding was pretty smooth. The aircraft was inbound aircraft was a few minutes late in, so that meant we had a slight delay. Apparently, I overheard some of the ground staff talking. Apparently, they only had 2 cleaners for the aircraft, so that's a little bit concerning. I don't know whether or not that is a Virgin cutback. I don't think it is. I think that was due to their ground services supplier on the day just being short of individuals to be able to complete the service. So the crew were a little bit late in boarding. Boarding the aircraft was the normal Virgin experience. It was great. All the mood lighting was on. The cabin had been set out nicely. There was a flight service manager on board who was running the cabin. She was brilliant. I'm going to have a shout out to her. Her name was Lindsay. I didn't catch her second name. I will be writing into Virgin Atlantic to pass some feedback to her. She ran the cabin superbly. She was visible. She was active with customers. She greeted people on board. She had 3 really great crew members working in the upper class cabin. An Eastern European lady, I think her name was Alina, and an Irish lady, both of which were so attentive. They were the exact sparkle and magic that Virgin Atlantic is known for. I was looked after by both of them, as was Lee. Lee said that he enjoyed the flight back much better. It genuinely felt like the Virgin Atlantic that I know and love, and landing in Heathrow was a really sad moment to get off that flight, and it was good to think, and I'm already planning a trip possibly to New York for February, so we'll watch this space, and with more travels to come. That being said, whilst I'm so delighted that things are looking up, a lot of the gripes of my original original vlog of what was now about a fortnight ago still stand. My expectations were probably reset a little bit for this flight. One because it's a night flight and there's never quite the same outbound magic. Everybody's a little bit tired. Everybody wants to go home. Everybody just wants to get the slog of flying transatlantic over with. And whilst the crew were out of this world, there is the same issues in terms of there is still less crew on board. They are still very, very busy. This was not a particularly busy flight. There was upper was full, premium was dead. I think it was less than half full, and there was, I think, only about 100 passengers in economy. So the demand on the crew wasn't particularly huge, which then that means on how much time they can spend with you, that they can talk to you. As a passenger in upper class with a full upper class cabin, I didn't notice any different from any other night flight I've ever been on. But I'm sure if you were down in economy, those crew would have been really, really busy. In particular, had the flight itself have been full. The service is still delivered via trolleys. It's still delivered with some of the kind of the bells and the whistles really cut out of it. There's no cheese trolley. There's no tablecloths. There's no linens. There's no bread rolls. And it only occurred to me after I've done my last vlog, it's like one of the best bits of flights with Virgin is these really nice hot bread rolls, and they always have a different variety of flavours, and they are absolutely beautiful. And I just couldn't believe that that those had been cut out. They were always a staple of flights. The choices were still pretty limited. And the bar itself was still closed. Now I understand the bar being closed is a decision that Virgin have made to reduce the spread of Omicron. That's a Virgin decision. It's not being imposed on them. There is no requirement to do so from either the CAA or its equivalent in the US. I can't remember what it's called. And that's really annoying. Given how much hospitality is open and is unrestricted really right now on the ground, it's really annoying that one of the signature bits of the Virgin and upper class brand has been taken away by them. The crew, who I chatted to quite extensively on the way back, were a little bit confused by why they'd chosen to do that as well. Many people in vlogs and online are saying it's a cost-cutting measure. I don't believe that. I don't think it really costs the guys anything to have the bar open. That being said, I didn't use the bar as such, but I did use the bar just in kind of getting up and stretching. The crew kept it really well stocked up with loads of little snacks throughout the night, which was fantastic. Very, very different contrast to the outbound flight where nothing was provided on the bar at all. There was soft drinks. The Wonderwall in premium was fully stocked as well. And then breakfast options again were a limited range of items in comparison to what there would have been before the pandemic. And then lastly, on arrival into Terminal 3, the Revivals Lounge is currently closed, and that's due to the requirement for travellers to self-isolate following a negative PCR test. So it's just one that you need to watch out for if you're travelling in upper class and expecting to come back. And normally I don't have breakfast on board on night flights in the UK, knowing that I'll be into Revivals and kind of having breakfast in there. So it is one just to watch out for, that you won't be able to do that at the moment. And until that requirement is removed, which I'm currently listening to PMQs right now, and it seems like that has been removed from next week. So hopefully for anybody travelling, once they've seen this vlog, you will be able to access the Revivals Lounge again. That's open to upper class customers and to customers who are flying Club Gold. But just note, unlike the Clubhouse, you cannot get somebody into Revivals, even as a flying Club Gold. my thoughts overall is that my faith has been restored into Virgin. It's been restored because of three individuals who were amazing. So that's Lindsay and the two crew members that I restored earlier. If I believe there are now Virgin Atlantic management watching my vlogs. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. Hopefully I'm not going to get banned off any flights in the future. I love you guys, and I've invested too much money in you guys to have that done. I hope that I know from friends who are at both at both management level and frontline level who work for Virgin, that many of the gripes, complaints, comments that I've made are echoed by most people within the organisation right now. So hopefully I'm not going to find myself on a VS not to fly list. So yeah, other final comment to make. Despite Heathrow not being at full capacity and I think Terminal 4 still being closed, Terminal 3 was wedged yesterday. So we landed at 10:21. We were pretty lucky. We were through every process, and we were fully cleared landside and in a taxi by 11:08. So it was kind of around about 50 minutes to get through from the jet bridge going on to being in a cab leaving Heathrow, as opposed to people who were in economy that probably took a little bit longer. But the whole terminal was heaving. One of the longest things that it took time to get through was actually getting through customs. And it's if you know Terminal 3, you come through from kind of about baggage belt 4 or 5, and there's a little kind of zigzag customs hole. Now, there was no active customs checks going on, but just the whole throng of people slowed that process down. So it took about 10 minutes to walk through that zigzag, despite there being no customs activity. It was literally just the funnel effect of so many people going through with luggage trolleys. As for me, my next planned trip is to Vienna, Warsaw and Prague in April, and that will be flying British Airways business class. However, with over 500,000 Virgin Atlantic miles and the US reopen and testing requirements now, as it seems, being reduced, I am looking at things to do in February and March. So watch this space for more airline content. However, there will definitely be some hotel content. I've got a trip up to Aberdeen with my best friend and his son at the end of this month, hoping to do a little vlog on that. I'm definitely going to be doing some hotel reviews over the next few months as well. So please remember to like, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much, guys, and I will see you in the next one.